Welcome, my fellow procrastinators. Today we're going to be discussing the science behind procrastination and how to beat it. Most of your life, you might have gone through it thinking your procrastination is on a new level. Anytime you have to do something productive, your phone is automatically in your hand. You're going through TikTok, you're going to Instagram, you're going to YouTube Shorts, anything and everything except the task in hand. Now, if this sounds familiar, I'm only saying this because I've gone through this personally, most of my life really. And I always thought, maybe it's just wired in my brain that I cannot be productive. However, what I'm going to show you today is a few tips and tricks that I've done myself in order to overcome procrastination, and hopefully you can use it. Now, some of the techniques I use are going to be backed by science, and I'm going to go through them shortly. So, let's dive right in. Firstly, we're going to debunk the myth of motivation. Now, the definition of motivation on Google is a reason or reasons for acting or behaving in a particular way. Our brains are actually wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain, so it's natural to gravitate towards activities that provide instant gratification, like scrolling through social media. Now, the reason why I personally think motivation is bullshit is simply because it's a temporary feeling. It's a feeling of wanting to do something in the moment. However, whenever you do what you need to do, for example, a task, and it gets difficult, you give up on it, hoping that, I don't feel motivated right now, so I'll just put it off for later. Again, procrastinating. However, what we can actually do is rewire our brain into, instead of thinking about short-term gratifications like, doing a small little task, an instant reward by scrolling through your phone for a few hours, and again being unproductive most of the day, and actually reach towards long-term gratification, which is seeking rewards that come in a future date after doing a series of tasks. Now, research has actually shown that motivation is not just a feeling. It's actually a complex interplay of neural circuits, hormones and neurotransmitters in our brain that drive us to action. In other words, it's not just about feeling like you want to do it, but about rewiring your brain to seek long-term rewards. Now, to achieve this, what we need to do is practice non-negotiable daily habits that train our brains to crave long-term gratification. Studies have shown that by implementing daily routines, we can actually build new neural pathways and reduce impulsive behavior. Now, my personal daily non-negotiables include meditating 10 minutes a day, at least 30 minutes of daily exercise, waking up at 5 a.m., and finally, writing and practicing my affirmations and gratitude. So, pick 3 to 4 habits that you want to achieve every single day, like exercising or reading, and stick to them no matter what. This is something you will do regardless of how you feel. This is simply building discipline. Now, in the future, when it comes to procrastination, since you've already built the discipline habits, you'll find yourself focused on the task. Now, that's just rewiring a certain part of your brain to actually look into the long-term plan, knowing that these little things every single day will actually drive you to become a better and more successful human. Let's talk about breaking down tasks. Our brains are wired to avoid big, overwhelming tasks. So, this point in terms of overcoming procrastination, not only do I use it, but it's actually backed by science in terms of being the best type of method to actually overcome procrastination. Now, with these overwhelming tasks, by breaking them down into smaller steps, we trick our brains into thinking they're more manageable. This is where the Pomodoro technique comes in, a study method of 25 minutes of work and 5 minutes of rest. By breaking your work into 25-minute intervals and 5-minute breaks, you can actually focus your brain on small achievable tasks, which will help you eventually stay on track and avoid distractions. Your brain automatically knows there's a break coming, so it doesn't need to seek these short-term gratifications by scrolling on your phone. As long as you stick to the 25 minutes of work and 5 minutes of break by using a timer, just like what I do, then eventually you'll overcome procrastination in that sense. Another point I'm going to make is regarding music. Music can play a massive role in our productivity and whether we are concentrating or procrastinating. While it's tempting to listen to your favorite lyrical tunes, I made a mistake of this myself, where I was listening to rap, hip-hop, R&B. Research has actually shown that this actually dampens your mind when it comes to concentration. What research has actually shown that actually improves your concentration is instrumental music, which can be very, very beneficial. Now, next time you're trying to work, just give this a try. I know a lot of people are against it because they love listening to their favorite types of music. But try turn on some background music like classical, jazz, or nature sounds. If you have Spotify or YouTube or whatever music platform, if you type in nature sounds or classical or jazz, something will come up, or even study music. If you ever actually look, study music never has lyrics. It always just has an instrumental. This is simply because it actually does improve your concentration. Your mind is no longer trying to process what it's listening to, which are lyrics, and it's actually just more focused on what you are reading and paying attention to. Let's talk about Parkinson's law. This law specifically states that the work expands to fill the time allotted for its completion. Meaning, if you give yourself a longer time frame to complete a task, you'll likely take that long to finish it. I'll give you an example. If you dedicate 1 hour to sending a particular email that normally takes 5 minutes to finish, it will take an hour long, simply because you have given yourself an hour to do it, meaning you're going to procrastinate it for a whole hour, and eventually it will take that long, whereas you could have just finished it in 5 minutes. So what you need to do in this sense, which helped me personally, is give yourself deadlines and stick to them very strictly. By carefully planning and allocating your time, you'll be able to actually work more efficiently and avoid procrastination. And eventually get a lot more done too. Now let's wrap this video up by this final point. No matter what anyone says, your work environment matters. Why are you working around in places and environments that are full of distractions? In a table around your friends, crowded areas, noisy areas, areas where there's technology all over the place. This is all just giving your brain stimulus from every single corner of the place, making it so much more easier to procrastinate. Instead, again, this worked for myself, create a designated workspace that's free from distractions, whether it's a home office, whether it's a library, whether it's a quiet corner of your bedroom. It all works. Just give that a try. Maybe your environment is the main factor that's causing your out of control procrastination. I can definitely say it was the same for me. So, my fellow procrastinators, let's train our brains to crave long-term gratification, break down tasks, avoid distractions, give ourselves deadlines, and create distraction-free work environments. With these tips, we can beat procrastination and achieve our goals. Now let's get to work.